Man versus machine right now on FFT Express. This is a fun one. The brainchild of our producer, Thomas Schaefer. We're going to compete, I guess, against ChatGPT. We're going to react to the 2025 fantasy football predictions generated by ChatGPT. So this will be fun. I think some pretty wild ones there, including this one. ChatGPT, pretty high on Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams finishes 2025 as the overall fantasy QB1, Jamie.
You know, we got finished doing our quarterback tiers, and that's kind of the spot on Monday show. That's kind of the spot where do I really like Caleb Williams as a top 10 quarterback? Well, obviously I don't like him high enough. As we said, everything got better for him, but will he be better? That's the biggest question. Offensive line's better, coach is better, receiving core as a whole should be better. I know they lose Keenan Allen, but you gain two high-profile rookies that have a chance to, be at this point in their careers, maybe individually, but certainly collectively better than what Keenan Allen was a year ago. And so for a number one overall pick coming into the NFL draft and all the talent in the world for himself, for his team, for his receivers, it could happen. I just can't buy it based on the history of Bears quarterbacks and what we saw a year ago. That's just too huge of a leap. Like you say, top 10, that I could definitely buy. Number one, I mean, everything went bad for all the other quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, he rushes enough, right? Almost 500 rushing yards last year. Just want to see one thing, his playoff schedule. 2 home games. Yes, he's got a lot of cold weather games starting in week 13 at Philadelphia, or let's say week 12. Pittsburgh at home, at Philadelphia, at Green Bay, Cleveland, Green Bay, at San Francisco. So up until week 17, there's just a lot of outdoor cold weather, maybe bad weather games in Chicago or at Green Bay or at Philadelphia. Not exactly conducive to being the number one quarterback overall in fantasy. So ChatGPT, you suck on that one. This one, though, very, very possible. Ashton Jeanty finishes as a top 5 overall player in PPR leagues. I'm going to skip that one, Jamie, because we could absolutely see that one happening. Yep. This one really I like a lot. And when we were doing our wide receiver rankings, talking about our wide receiver rankings, and we got to this particular player, I thought about the number that I'm seeing here, 130, feels even low to me, where I feel like he could be good because of target volume. Here's the ChatGPT prediction. Target tsunami. Tetairoa McMillan logs 130 targets, finishes as wide receiver 15. I think maybe more like 140 targets gets him to wide receiver 15, but I like the philosophy behind that.
It's a very, 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 very interesting receiving core. Adam Thielen is going to be 35 years old, but he was their best receiver in the final 7 games of the season when he came back from the hamstring injury. You have another first-round wide receiver in Xavier Legette who does not profile to be a target hog, but could obviously make some plays for them. We've spent the better part of, I think, the end of last year, offseason, in some cases, I don't want to say touting, but talking about the potential of Jatavion Sanders. Chuba Hubbard's going to make some plays. They went out and they got this guy for a reason to be their lead receiver. And yes, I feel like I have him ranked too low. When I get to that point in my rankings, it's basically after the top 24 guys. So 24 for me is Xavier Worthy. And then it goes Travis Hunter, 25, Jerry Jeudy, 26, Jameson Williams, Chris Godwin, and then McMillan's right in that range there. I feel like he could be better than all those guys because of his opportunity. Now, I do think he's going to be a Drake London, Michael Pittman type of player where the separation is going to be an issue for him. So he's going to have to win a lot of contested catches. I might be wrong, but that's kind of how I feel like he profiles. And so will there be enough touchdown opportunities there for him? And I also don't want to overinflate what Bryce Young did at the end of last season when he took advantage of a favorable schedule and started playing better. So I like him a lot. I would prefer to draft him as my number 3 receiver. In some cases, number 4, depending on how you draft. But yeah, this is a fun one.
Yeah, I think what people are excited about is the fact that he went 8th overall, Tetairoa McMillan, in the NFL draft. If he had gone 20th overall, then maybe we wouldn't be as excited because that would have been where JSN and Zay Flowers, Jordan.
But where do you think that ranks in terms of last year's class? And that's sort of how I qualify. It's a terrible class.
That's why I'm not all in on it, because I don't feel like he should have been I think this was not just a bad wide receiver draft. I think this was a bad NFL draft. I kept seeing, the scouts, whatever, executives saying we don't have that many first round grades on guys. So I look at McMillan as a guy who's probably more in the Zay Flowers, JSN, Jordan Addison, Quentin Johnston prospect tier. Certainly not than the top 3 guys who went in the top 10 last year. just from
Right.
what
You don't want to be reaching for, and this is by no means what I'm saying he's a comp to, but like you don't want to be reaching for Jalen Reagor.
Yeah, I hope not. Yeah, no. All right, we're gonna take a break and we're gonna get some more GPT predictions after this. Oh boy, this one's crazy. Year 4 breakout alert from ChatGPT. Wan'Dale Robinson cracks the top 24 in PPR. Dude had 140 targets last year. There is no way Wan'Dale Robinson is cracking the top 24 without a Malik Neighbors injury.
Unless they just abandon the run completely and this is 140 targets again and he's 100 catches. Like it could happen.
I guess it's not that crazy in that regard. Yeah. They may not have a good run game.
He was top 10 in receptions last year.
He probably wasn't even a top 40 wide receiver. It's my guess.
Well, no, he had no yards and touchdowns, but he's going to get those opportunities again. Like when you get to, what was he?
36th overall, but definitely not per game because he played every game.
The thing about it, like, is there aren't a lot of guys that you're getting at that range that are going to catch the ball as much as he does. So like he's a free space in PPR based on ADP.
All right. New ChatGPT prediction. Sam Laporta 2.0. Colston Loveland sneaks into the top 8 tight ends.
I think I have him ranked 10th right now. So I don't necessarily think it's a huge leap. I mean, when you're talking about the guy that he went to go play for, like took a rookie tight end and made him a touchdown hog, and very solid production for Sam Laporta in year 1. Well, Loveland's, hopefully healthy, dealing with shoulder injury. Like, yes, DJ Moore, Romo Dunze, Luther Burden, Cole Kmet, they're all there. But I mean, there's an easy path here for Colston Loveland to be like, this is, you say a lot of teams didn't have first round grades on players. They definitely done the tight ends.
Yes.
And Loveland, I think, surprised a lot of people by going ahead of Tyler Warren, who everybody sort of looked at as the number 1 tight end in the class. So it's hard to overlook that this one could be true.
Mid-season shock. Rookie Dylan Gabriel starts for Cleveland by week 9 and goes QB 12 rest of season.
No, this is the worst one so far.
Well, the first half of it wouldn't be completely shocking.
That he's the starter?
Yeah, by week 9. QB 12 for Dylan Gabriel would be I will retire. If Dylan Gabriel is QB 12 per game, and it's not like he played 1 or 2 games and scored 20 points.
The Jimmy Garoppolo game, yeah.
Yeah. I will retire and someone else can host the show. Well, an audience member. Okay, one more. First round flop. Packers wide receiver Matthew Golden finishes outside the top 50.
I don't see that as being too tremendously difficult to happen. I mean, this is a team that was bottom 3 in pass attempts last year. And would it shock you if Golden is like 3rd on the team in targets, 4th on the team in targets, behind Romeo Doubs and Jaden Reed, not in that order, and Tucker Kraft? Like,
I think they'll all be pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, you could see it, and so it's one of the more. This was another. Did we talk about this yesterday? That this was with the receiving core, like we should keep an eye on as well. I don't think we did. I think Dan and I both went right to the tight ends. This receiving core, yeah, like you mentioned it. I think we were talking about Romeo Doubs a few weeks ago. Like Jordan Love loves him, and I think Matt LaFleur does too. Like he's the veteran of the group. When you look at it,
he's the Najee Harris of wide receivers.
He's the Najee Harris of wide receivers.
Yeah, he's not the most exciting, but he's reliable. Romeo Doubs. Yeah.
12 touchdowns the last 2 years.
You know what would be a bold prediction? How bold would this be? Not a single Packers player gets 100 targets.
Didn't it happen last year? I don't know if that's bold.
I don't know. Yeah, I have to look.
I think it did. I think you actually brought this up before.
It did not?
No.
Nobody did last year?
No.
Oh my God, nobody even had 80. So when you start to factor in injuries and all that, but yeah, no, like Ontavian Wicks and Jaden Reed led the team with 76 and 75 targets. I got to be bolder than that. Not a single player has 85 targets. And I know it happened last year, but that you would never project that. They were so run heavy last year. It's kind of, when you see a stat like that, 4 players between 70 and 76 targets, makes you a little nervous, I think, about everybody in this receiving core. All right. Jamey, thank you very much. We have beaten the machine.
We'll find out. You might be retiring.
We'll find out. I might be retiring. I'm going to start looking for other options. But I feel confident I'll be back next year. All right, that's Jamey Eisenberg. I'm Adam Aizer. This is FFT Express. We'll talk to you tomorrow.